All right, long ball number one here on Friday, May 30th. Should the United States and Major League Soccer take its drama cues from Mexico? We have plenty off the field and administrative drama, but on the field, can
Yeah.
we match Mexico? Do we want to match Mexico? A statement from Club America throwing some serious shade at the Pachuca group, thinking
Yeah.
about making up fake news about their players, maybe trying to get them, suspended or something like that. That is some pretty high level trolling and drama.
Yeah, let's first say that I don't know what the truth is here. I don't want to pretend like I understand exactly what's real and what's not when it comes to this story. But as you said, Club America, who has that massive game against LAFC with a berth in the Club World Cup on the line. This is huge for these two clubs. And we talked about on Wednesday, the game sold out. It's a big deal. People are very excited about it. Whatever you think about the Club World Cup, these two teams definitely care. They want to be playing in that tournament. And I caught that Club America put out a statement so I guess the story is that there are rumors, things came out in the press that Club America's goalkeeper, who is Luis Angel Malagon, was accused of some sort of domestic violence incident with his wife. So Club America puts out a statement saying fake news, basically fake news. And they imply, without naming names, they imply that it's Grupo Pachuca that was putting out these fake rumors about Malagon because they're salty. Grupo Pachuca, of course, salty that Club Leon got kicked out of the Club World Cup, and Club America might have a chance to get in by beating LAFC in that playoff. And that is spicy stuff. And we have nothing like this in American soccer, Rob. Nothing. I'm jealous.
You're jealous of it. Definitely gives you plenty to talk about if this was the sort of thing in the mix on the afternoon drive for American soccer. But that's pretty unreal, and that's getting into some pretty dicey territory because there could be. I mean, even if you put out a fake news, it almost makes the authorities have to investigate it in some way, right? That has to be dug into. So now reporters have to see, is there some truth to this? So even if it's a false claim or based in reality, it's going to cause some sort of a reaction and action. So you're wading into some dicey territory there to throw that out there. But vendettas are real, a human condition that people can fall into, and there is probably some history of vengeance driven acts in this world, and so it's not out the realm of possibility. And I'll say this one more time: following soccer and soccer rumors made me understand what fake news is more than I feel like the average citizen. Like, if you see a transfer rumor, I feel like you're more educated to know that this might not be reality, and there might be some other forces in the mix. Like you said, with this,
I don't know.
Is this a star player?
Hold on. I don't think that being a soccer fan who can understand when a transfer rumor is probably nonsense necessarily inoculates you against the fake news of the political kind or the conspiratorial side. But I do understand what you're saying. I think
like 10-year jump on recognizing the
maybe. I still think there are a lot of soccer fans who are pretty bad at picking out what's fake news and what's not. I'm just saying.
Well, that's soccer fan at least.
I talk to soccer people on a regular basis. Sometimes I'm like, you believe that? Really? Wow. In this case, what I mean, I don't know that this is the thing we should be taking a cue from, right? I said that before the show. We brought it up as a conversation because it is fascinating that there is this back and forth in this sniping and these allegations being levied by Club America against Grupo Pachuca. But this is about sort of the ownership going after the ownership, right? Like if Grupo Pachuca did this, we don't know. Big is true. But if they did this and they were responsible for spreading rumors about Malagon having a domestic violence incident with his wife, that's really low stuff. That is terrible. That is dirty pool, right? But it's more about the saltiness on the part of the ownership group of Grupo Pachuca than it is on like Leon fans doing stuff like this. Although, again, fans are known for this stuff. I don't know, the first thing that comes to mind is not soccer related. It's like the guy who poisoned the trees at Auburn, the Alabama fan who poisoned the trees at Auburn.
Oh,
like that kind of stuff. You don't want it to happen, right? This is the tension. Like, I don't want people to do bad things because that's bad. I shouldn't be somebody who wants bad things to happen. And yet when they do happen and I'm not responsible for the bad thing, I may revel in the salacious nature of it a little bit. Because I think what we think we're missing a lot in American soccer is that level of passion that makes people do crazy stuff. Now, don't fight. Again, it gets into this thing like I'm scolding and wagging my finger about certain behavior, but I kind of want there to be other behavior, and I don't know if I get to pick and choose.
When you described yourself being removed from the consequences, reminded me of that Bill Hader meme of where he's playing the host, where he was like, "Oh, that's terrible," and he's like, "You seem kind of, oh no, I'm not psyched." It's like when the shoe's on the other foot, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, when the engine of insanity is already running, and then you sort of like arrive to kind of take that in and consume that insanity, but you're not responsible for having started it. It's a lot easier to deal with than like kind of saying from this point, like what we need in American soccer is more insanity. Well, first of all, we've had a little bit. It just maybe hasn't risen to the level of like getting a big time attention. Like Breck Shea existed. Like Breck Shea was a thing. That way it happened. And there may be other examples of things like I'm sure longtime MLS fans could come up with stuff. And look, it just came up on the Best Soccer Show that I did last night. In 1998, we didn't know exactly what was going on at the time and only found out later when it was confirmed. But in 1998, the captain of the U.S. men's national team was left off the World Cup squad because he was having an affair with his teammate's wife. Like that's a legitimate thing that happened in American soccer. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we have this. It's just a different level of sort of visibility because soccer hasn't reached that national conversation level.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just not in the spotlight as heavily. Huge drama, what you mentioned with the aforementioned adultery within the same team. I'm trying to think of who are the American soccer villains. I think there has been for short periods of time. I mean, I think Bruce Arena was a little bit for a moment there when the qualification didn't happen. Jurgen Klinsmann was a bit when he left off Donovan off the World Cup selection.
He was.
But like within the league, like was there a guy in Major League Soccer where like that guy was just bad business? I mean, like a guy that I'd love on my team, but never want to face him.
You had Steven Lenhart in San Jose when they had the Bash brothers for a moment. People really didn't like him. He was known for being pretty aggressive as a forward. I don't know. There have been some midfield types, hard-nosed guys, crunching tackles kind of guys that I guess. I do think it has to be because it's this is obviously the catch-22 for MLS. Villains are great for the conversation. They're great for entertainment value. But if you have a league that doesn't rate among the elite leagues of the world, it's tougher to sell a player as sort of some sort of villain. I do think it's interesting, and I wrote about this in my newsletter. It's interesting that Miami has become the target, the villain for a lot of people. And maybe that was sort of a natural thing that was always going to happen based on the attention that Messi got and sort of how much oxygen he was taking up when he arrived. But there's an extra level to it now. It's weird. Messi has taken to whining about refs. That never makes you beloved outside of your own fan base. So I don't know. It is interesting. I mean, you can't manufacture villains, right? This isn't pro wrestling. Although I do think Johnny Infantino is doing pro wrestling like things with the Club World Cup. This isn't pro wrestling. It's not the WWE. And yet you kind of I'm waiting for that thing to happen where we get that real conversation. Those villainy kind of things happen to make the game more interesting.
And with MLS's structure of parity and whatnot, there's probably not a team good enough for long enough to become that hated team over a long time. I guess LA Galaxy has a little bit. Ricky Puig, okay, they were on their path to becoming a really good, maybe perhaps return to hateable status. If they had continued, Puig Ricky Puig doesn't get injured and they continue to be a really good team. Even though he's a very likable guy, almost cartoon character like, but could he have turned into a villain?
Absolutely. I think people didn't like. I think he had a pretty boy image. He had the hair. It was a lot, and he's always bouncing. He's moving around. So he's very easy to dislike if you're not a Galaxy fan. I think I liked him, but I think a lot of people might not feel that way about Ricky Puig. I will say you're kind of making a point that I brought up. It's harder in MLS for these things to happen because it's harder in MLS to maintain success year in and year out for a long period of time. Which, again, you don't maybe want one or two or five teams to dominate the league because that makes the league less interesting to the fans of teams who are not at that level. This is parity, right? Parity has now entered the chat as part of why we don't have this as much, right? And you can't even say, well, someone should just do what the Patriots did and put together a long run of success in a league that values parity, like the NFL. The difference being that the NFL is the pinnacle of the sport. And so Bill Belichick could go to talented players and say, hey, we can't pay you as much, but you'll have a chance to win with Tom Brady if you come play for us. In American soccer, it's like, well, you can't sell that story because players will go, well, this is Major League Soccer. I want to go play in England. I want to go play in Germany. I want to go play in Spain or France. You're not selling me. Why would I take less money here in this middling league when this is not the end all be all? Winning a championship here is not my life goal. So that is interesting.
I don't want to go too long on this one. Maybe we'll shorten the next long ball here, but Lucho Acosta getting booed. There's some on-field drama for you. I mean, he forced his way out of a team, goes back to him, and is surprised that he got booed. I mean, that's kind of saucy.
Yeah, no, that one definitely has some heat to it. And I'm this is the kind of thing, like, is it bad behavior? Yes. Does it cross any lines? No, not really. Lucho Acosta is just being a prima donna, and that's fine with me. If he goes to Cincinnati, gets booed, and then it's like, why are you booing me? I deserve better. It's like, bro, you wanted to leave. You actually like were making a big deal about staying and how happy you were, and then like a couple months later, you're like, I'm out. I want to get out of here. Trade me. So how could you not be booed? Like that the fact that he is so oblivious to how fans are going to feel about him makes him a prima donna and a villain, and I think that is great. Like, and I just wish he was on a better team now, so that his exploits with his new team could become part of the story, because Dallas isn't there yet. And the other thing is that Dallas is playing in front of like 10,000 people because half their stadium is closed. So it is not, it doesn't have that like big time feel about it the way it would if this was, a back and forth between the two biggest teams in baseball or something.
Another note, maybe we were not short on drama, and to your point that it might not just be center stage, because the California-based Major League Soccer team seem to be embracing the ultra culture. I feel like we see clips of some fights and some brawls going on pretty regularly out there now.
That's why I said don't fight. Don't do the chant and don't fight. That's a message for San Diego fans. This is what I'm talking about, sort of policing certain behavior, but wanting other behavior. And look, I think everybody knows where the line is. Violence is across the line. Being an actual thug, hooligan, whatever you want to pretend to call yourself, an ultra, the Barra Brava, stop it already. Like that cosplaying. Like you're not. Your team is in its first season. Do not tell me that you are so passionate about your club, you got to go fight people over it. I mean, even the Millwall, West Ham, all that stuff from the hooligan culture of England is all nonsense and performative. So that's what we don't want.
Yeah. We shall see. And one last shout on this men's national team football comment. Matt Miazga's F. Cincinnati provides the drama. Can't lie there.